Hey gang, okay, so I'm back from the cruise, so glad to be back with you guys and easing myself back into the routine of posting in the group and everything. So thank you to those of you who stepped up to the plate and encouraged one another and posted and that kind of thing. I totally appreciate it. And definite shout out to Tiffany who helped me out in that regard. So anyway, we learned so much on the cruise. We did, of course, paid by Beachbody, 3 different sessions for Matt and I of acupuncture. And then we also met with a personal trainer and did what's called an in-body test. And the acupuncturist, we met with her first, and she said usually for spouses, the diagnosis is different. In our case, the diagnosis was the same. Both of us had a weak liver and weak stomach. And what that means is that basically our liver was not functioning properly because of toxins. And when the liver doesn't function properly, then excess free radicals are floating around outside the body, and they will grab onto the outside of fat cells. And when that happens, basically like an M&M coating, if you will, forms around the fat cells, and when that is there, the fat cells won't burn. So, especially around our midsection, and for me also on the hip area, I've done everything possible in terms of fitness and nutrition that I can do. But if am not going to cleanse the liver, then I'm basically plateauing, and there's nothing more that I can do to get the results that I want. Okay, so basically that's kind of what we heard from the acupuncturist, and she did the acupuncture to begin opening up the energy pathways called meridians to start to heal the liver and allow that to start functioning and flowing again. Then she recommended 2 different supplements to heal the liver over the next 90 days, okay? Now, that's the acupuncture side for us. Then we go to the personal trainer. We do this in-body test. I mainly was going there wanting to have my body fat tested. Come to find out, it's the same machine like that the NFL uses and a lot of different professional sports people, because it goes so in depth. It'll break down the I'm totally forgetting the different types of fat. The fat around the midsection, that's around the organs, for some reason, it's totally escaping me. It starts with a V. But anyway, it tells us that percentage. It tells us what our extracellular water is and the intracellular water amount is, and those things combined give you a really good reading, as well as each different muscle part, like the right arm, the left arm, the right leg, the left leg, that kind of thing, all over the body. Super fascinating, valuable information to have. And she too came back and said the problem is the toxicity of the liver. So with that, we are going to be doing a liver detox over the next months, based on how far off our pH balance is. That determines how long we need to do it. For Matt, it was only 6 months. For me, it's actually 9 months. And in doing that, it's going to allow us to then get the results that we want and trim down that extra last bit. So I'm super excited to be moving forward with this. Now, for me, the next question then is how much of this can be done through the Ultimate Reset. And so I'm going to be digging in and reading a lot more about that, because of course I've done the Ultimate Reset, but that has been essentially years ago since I've done it completely hardcore and 100% all the way through. So for me, potentially I could do that and dramatically cut the time that I would need to do the liver detox program that this kind of company, if you will, has. But anyway, more than anything, the bottom line is that we need to be talking a lot more about acid and alkaline, acidic foods and alkalinizing foods. And so I am going to be doing more education on that, and that is something that I had learned in nutrition school, but there's so much that we can talk about and so much information that depending on the group and depending on what questions that you as challengers have to ask me, then sometimes that gets talked about and sometimes it hasn't. But what I'm realizing is that that needs to be talked about all the time. And even though the foods that we've been eating are clean, they're healthy, there are some clean, healthy foods, that are more acidic than alkaline. And we need to be switching that to get our bodies more alkalinized, more alkaline, and that will help us get much better results and also feel a heck of a lot better. So for sure, I'm 100% sure that I'm going to be using the Power Greens every single day. Has nothing to do with the taste of my shake. It has nothing to do with the way that I feel that very day from drinking my shake. It has to do with getting my body in a more alkaline state so that I can then get the results that I want. So that's one thing right off the bat that I'm going to be doing as a result of learning all of this information this week. So I hope that that helps you a little bit, and I am, like I said, I'm going to be pouring more education your direction this coming week on acid and alkaline. Tomorrow we start the 3-day refresh. If there's any of you that would like to do that, even over the course of the next week, that will be fresh on my mind. And the last thing is that I want to impress upon you to ask questions. Ask lots of questions. I've got loads of resources, but I don't know what to share with you guys unless you give me what you're curious about, unless you tell me exactly what you feel like your struggles are, and then we can do something about it. Then we can have good conversation on the group. So talk to y'all later. Have an awesome weekend.